Assalamu Alaikum everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I wasn't planning to record anything today and I'm currently on holiday, but I do have my mic on my laptop, so I thought, let me share with you guys what I have seen in the market in the last few weeks. Things have changed quite a bit, so I just want to give you a quick update of what's going on in generally over the just things that happened in the last few weeks and that I've noticed. I haven't been as much doing a lot of research and things like that lately because I'm currently on holiday, like I said, and I wanted to take time away from basically what I have been doing, work and basically the YouTube situation, and just basically kind of regroup and after Hajj just kind of relax a little bit. But yeah, so I've done a little bit of research just the last 2 days, and I thought this is really just becoming interesting because there are a couple of things that I'm noticing. So I want to share that with you guys. I don't want to make the video any longer than it needs to be. So let's get into this. So what's happening right now? So one of the things that I like to look at is this. And this is a report that basically, if you go to CNN Business, you can see the fear and basically greed index. And as you can see here, it wasn't not just around beginning of this year, we were in extreme fear. Meaning most people would not want to put basically money into the market. They were worried there's a recession coming up, everything is doom and gloom. And then we moved to fear and people, okay, it's still a bit worried, whatever. And then they became neutral. Okay, it's not that bad, it's okay, the numbers are going up. The magnificent companies, 7 companies, like for example the Teslas, the Metas, the Googles, the what are they called, Microsoft and Apple and Amazon, the magnificent 7 including Nvidia, were doing okay. Then it became greedy. Basically the AI situation happened and everyone started becoming greedy because all of a sudden is all about AI and the world is basically completely changed, right? And the magnificent 7 carried on doing absolutely amazing and carrying the whole market, if you like, whereas everybody else in the basic consumer discretionaries, basically and consumer staples, the industrials, everything else was still down. The magnificent 7 were actually doing really good job and carrying on them basically the way they were. Now we're in extreme greed, and this is what got me basically thinking about. This is the reason I decided to do this video, just to kind of have a look around and see exactly what is happening. Because once we get to this, this is dangerous. This might be dangerous for certain people, basically being in extreme fear, right? But for me, that's when basically opportunities come up. Whereas extreme greed is where we really need to be careful where we're putting our money, basically. And the reason I said that is because if everything goes to the moon when everyone basically is buying everything, and that they become really expensive, and this is where you have to be careful where you're going to put your money, because remember, it's important to buy companies when they're undervalued. If you buy them right now, Nvidia's and all of these crazy companies, right, they could go down 20, 30, 40% and you might never get that money back. So that's why we really need to be careful. So just looking at the S&P 500, the heat map, just for basically yesterday, as you can see, Tesla was down almost 10%. So things can change very, very quickly. And this is why I need you to be careful. And that's why I'm being careful, The companies like Amazon was down 4%. A day before, Microsoft was up about 5% for the first time in years, or 4%, whatever it was. But it was down yesterday. Apple was down, Nvidia was down 3%. There are a couple of other companies down. Meta was down for over 4%. But when you look at the overall, when you look at it for a month or so when you look at the 1 month, you can see a lot of companies are in the green, especially companies like Adobe that's done absolutely amazing since I've actually sold it. Companies like Meta, for example, right, for the 1 month is actually done absolutely amazing. But things change very quickly when we look at the 3 months. Microsoft is up about 20%, Apple is up 15%, Nvidia is up 63%, Adobe 35%. And it continues, and this is why the greed is here, the extreme greed. This is why all of a sudden, and look at this side of the heat map, whereas in comparison to the rest of the basically sectors, They are actually down, some of them 11% in the UK. You've got healthcare that are down quite a bit. But when you look at the technology companies that are somehow involved in this madness of AI, doing absolutely amazing job. I'm not complaining. It's great, the fact that if you own Tesla and you're up almost to 45%, well done to you. It is great that we are in that situation. But one thing that we need to be careful is the valuation of these companies supporting what we're seeing right now. Because what is happening is people are looking like companies, Microsoft and so on, and they are buying these companies and betting on the future of the company. So some of them, whatever technology they're going to come up in the next few weeks, or they told us they're coming up with, right? It's already baked. That price is already baked into the current price. So if you're buying it right now, you might miss that opportunity, and you might never get back to these levels ever again if it goes back down to where where it belongs, if you like. So the intrinsic value does not lie. So you genuinely have to start being really careful. And when we look at the S&P 500, for example, just for the year to date, it's up about 18%. That's 19%. That's absolutely amazing. This time last year we were down God knows how much. So it's good, the fact that it's up quite a bit, but we have to be careful. We have to now start looking at really like doing proper research to find an undervalued stocks that we can add. The Dow Jones Industrial, which just haven't done much this year, okay, is now up 6%. It wasn't not long ago that it was actually flat. Now it's about 6% up. Has been up almost the 7 days in a row recently. That doesn't happen and that often. It doesn't happen that often. When you look at the Nasdaq, for example, okay, things change very quickly. 42%. It's up 42% since the beginning of the year. So all the green side of things that you've just seen, okay, a lot of these companies are in the QQQ or the Nasdaq, for example, 100. So things have changed very quickly. So what I want to do right now is just kind of give you on what I'm planning to do going forward, because right now, as you've seen already, is extreme greed now. Everyone wants to buy stocks. It's a good time to buy according to them, because everything is going to the moon. You can actually put money into Tesla right now and be up 45%. It's really that simple. You can buy Nvidia today and up by 64%, 63%. Okay, you can buy Broadcom, for example, and go to the moon in the next month. It is happening. Everybody thinks that's exactly what is happening. But when we look at the broader markets, okay, that's when things basically slightly change. So there are some companies in the cyclicals, in the companies like, for example, in the consumer defensives and so on, that are still undervalued and still cheap. And that's basically what we need to do. So in the next few weeks, I will be doing what I normally do and find the companies that are undervalued and share that with you guys, inshallah. But it is really becoming that difficult, okay? So now let's talk about the earnings, okay? So the earnings have started, obviously, as you know. And one of the things that's been happening is quite a lot of these companies actually doing really well. Okay, ASML came up and said it was fine. I'll show you what it looks like right now in terms of what they reported, and J&J has reported. So for me, this week, none of the companies apart from these two companies, none of the other companies reported. So I'm looking forward to the next 2 to 3 weeks, because that's when we see every company comes out, especially the big boys, okay, and they basically raise their guidelines and as well as obviously beat them their earnings and basically the revenue side of things, then I think we are definitely going to the moon, and I think things are going to change very quickly. But let's watch and see what happens in the next few weeks. So ASML has reported, okay, and they raised the guidelines, for example, for 2023, and they beat both top line and the bottom line. Okay, so net profit was up 25% from a year ago. In terms of revenue side of things, it was up 25% a year, 27% a year from a year ago. In terms of gross margins of 51%, which is absolutely amazing. And when it comes to the outlook, they expect basically net sales between $6.5 billion to $7 billion, which is absolutely amazing if you think about. And then ASML is expected 2023 net sales growth towards about 30% compared to this year where they had about 25%. Prior guidelines or growth over 25%. So they actually raised that guidelines from 25 to 30%, which is really huge. J&J also did the same thing. J&J, for the first time since I actually bought this stock, was up about 6% yesterday. 6%. I think it was 6%. Let me just double check. It was mad. I've never seen J&J 6-7% up. There we go. 6% up yesterday. Is ridiculous. Okay, but they beat both top line, bottom line, and they have said, so they've done absolutely amazing. They talked about the split of the Conview shares through an exchange offer as the form of its next step in the separation. And when they talked about their guidelines as well, which is absolutely fine. So yeah, it is up quite a bit yesterday. I've got, just to be transparent and to show you guys, I still have my shares of, I don't know how many, 33 shares of this company, and I think I was almost like 1% down or whatever it was a couple of days ago. I was thinking to add to it, and then boom, this happened yesterday, so it just went up so much. So what I'm doing right now going forward is pay attention to earnings reports and see if there's any of the companies that I own that will basically report basically weaker guidelines just for now, and everything else, if everything else is fine, then I'll potentially might be adding to these companies. And I'm also looking at to see if there are any really undervalued companies like Qualcomm. I know it's undervalued still, and I'm still buying it. Okay, if you join us on the Discord and the Patreon account, you will see basically I actually share every buys and every sells, and I actually added to Qualcomm this week, and I've shared that on the Discord. But yeah, I think this company is definitely undervalued at the moment, and it's one of the companies that I actually want to hold in my portfolio for a long time, so I will make most of that opportunity. So there is one company that's gone up so much, and I will let you know what I'm going to do about it. But right now, is this company, I'm up almost 87%, which is absolutely ridiculous. So I will be looking at Broadcom again, see if I need to trim, add, or get rid of it. So that is something that I will be doing in the next couple of weeks. So I'll let you know, and I'll share that information with you, because right now when I look at this company, it's over, like literally is hovering around $900 per share, and when I bought it, it was $483 per share. So it's actually gone up almost double digits right now. Double, I mean, my money basically from where I bought. So that's what I want to share with you guys. My plan going forward is to look at all the companies that I own and see if I can find any of the companies that are still undervalued, and then I start adding to them. If there's any companies that are basically gone up too much because of what's going on in the market, I might take some profit off the table and buy companies that are undervalued, because that's what you should be doing. Okay, you should always be looking at your portfolio and say, okay, for example, Microsoft, for example, has gone up so much, I'm 60% up. You might decide, I might decide to take some profit off the table, which I have previously. I don't know if you remember, about 2 years ago I did exactly that. I used to have almost 30 shares or 28 or whatever it was. I sold some of it, took that money and put it into another company. So that's kind of rebalancing things. And also, you also need to look at your overall allocation. Okay, if you want every company in your portfolio to be 5% or less, and you realize, okay, Broadcom's gone up so much, basically Union Pacific's gone so much, you might need to trim it if you're up quite a bit, and then use that money to put it into companies that are you're still building basically positions. Okay, so you kind of need to manage your portfolio, and this is what I'm gonna do going forward. The fact is, everything is now going to the moon, and I need to be careful where I put that money, but I will always do exactly what I've been doing, and that is just to basically allocate some money into this portfolio every single week, inshallah. And as you can see, since April, I actually put almost to £7,000, and that's what I'm going to continue doing. So I've got £13,000 until the 6th of April 2024, and I'm going to continue doing that, inshallah. I hope you enjoy this type of content. If you do, please join us on the Discord and join us on the Discord and the Patreon. The Patreon account is actually what helps the channel grow, to be honest with you, because the YouTube situation side of things, okay, I will be honest with you, I don't make money out of the YouTube. It's just the fact that what we get from, anyway, it will be helpful to join us on the Patreon account, inshallah, if you got and you can actually get access to all the spreadsheets that I have on there, inshallah. Have a wonderful day. Assalamu Alaikum.